So hello, we are once again back at our videos. So today is 27th of January 2026. I am recording until I get admission in US universities. So what about today? What I have read, I read about McKinsey. So basically, McKinsey is a company, consulting company that was founded in 1926. So why I'm telling about McKinsey? Since in these days I'm recording these videos, and in these record videos, I just don't have simply don't have to sit. I have to say something in English so that my English can improve. Okay, okay. So for that purpose, I start reading blogs, also about companies, also about universities, and some other details. And after reading these things, I think that I get to know something extraordinary than all my classmates and others. Okay, okay, extraordinary than all my classmates, not any other. Okay, so today, while reading the Mackenzie's, then I came to realize they are recruiting about how they recruit, how they uh, get someone can get internship there. Okay, and how someone from a college from which they are not recruiting can get a placement there. Okay, these are the things that I get to know about, and also I get to know about you can directly send your application through their website. Okay, and when you join that, they have some training programs that you have to cover, that you have to do and complete. After that, after this completion, you will be joining the McKinsey as an internship or as a permanent. Okay, that's completely depend on the McKinsey. I don't know that much deeper about that. I just have read the blog about that. Okay, so basically, I have read some these topics. What are these topics? So these are the ability skills that we must required before applying for the McKinsey. Okay, these are the must have skills that everyone should have for applying to the McKinsey. Okay, I did I get to know these about from the whole official McKinsey websites. Okay, so now I'm telling you all of you what are those and how can you develop those skills, and I'm also explaining all these things to you. These are not more than these are just eight skills that are required. Okay, not more than eight. Okay, but I'll be explaining these skills to you. Okay, I will be also giving you examples. Okay, okay. So the first skill is that you must have before applying for the McKinsey as your career. Okay, so typically your undergraduate degree with less than 4 years of work experience. Okay. Requirement may vary on like country or practice. Practice. Okay. So basically here, McKinsey is telling that if you want to get the job or if you want to get enrolled, then you must typically have an undergraduate degree. Okay. It could be any of your degree. It could be your BTech, BBA, BCA, BCom, BSc, anything. BSc anything. Okay. But you must have a bachelor degree. Okay, and for example, if I have a bachelor degree, like I'm pursuing BBA, so I can apply that. Okay, but after my completion, after completing the degree, not between the not when I am pursuing that. Okay, so degree with less than 4 years of work experience. Okay, so basically, if you have a undergraduate degree, if you have your undergraduate degree, then you must not have experience of work experience more than 4 years. A minimum 4 year work experience will be noted. Okay. If you have more than that experience, then you will not be qualified for that. Okay. So that is just simple. Okay. Requirement may vary by country or practice, and other requirement may vary on the your country and the requirements that are available on your countries as well. Okay. For example, if I am graduated from BBA or from think of a BCA, then I must have a minimum less than a 4 year experience. Okay, so let me tell you, if I after graduating, I get a placement and I get it's been 2 years when I get the placement. So I've been working from 2 years. Then I'll be eligible for that. But if my experience is about more than 4 year or more, I'm working for more than 4 years, then I'll be simply not eligible to apply for that. Okay. So now let's come to the second point. Okay, we are covering those. Okay, strong communication skills. Strong communication skill is communication. It means both verbal and written in English and local language, office local language. Okay, so they are telling that communication is skill is very important. Okay, it English is very important. Plus your local communication skill that will be played on your office or on your branch. You must have. Okay, these are the two skills that you must have. Okay, both verbal and written. Not only verbal communication but also written communication, because if you are not able to write your thoughts or that we have already earlier discussed in the past videos, then how will you can be able to solve some problems also? How will you interact with each other? Okay, so that's the point. Your language must be very clear what you are writing, and that means your communication skills in both verbal and written must be very clear in English as well as the language that is used in your office. Please note that the language that is used in your office. Okay. If you are not, if you don't have any of these, then you will be simply not eligible to apply. So let me give you an example. Assume that I'm applying for that and I have a great communication skills. You can see that simply currently I am just in a 12th standard, not more than this. So they are talking about an undergraduate degree. By the time I undergraduate, passed my get my undergraduate graduate I graduate, I will definitely have a much best communication skills. Okay, both communication written and verbal. Okay, so assume that I graduate. Okay, and I have a awesome communication skills, but I don't have a written communication skill. That will be a mess for me, and I'll be not simply not eligible for that, because you know have you just have completed your undergraduate, and they've been employing since 100 years. It's been 600 years in 2026. So how can you fool that? You cannot fool them. They knows everything about you. Okay, everything can be seen in an interview. Okay, or just by an intellectual. Okay, just by a meeting. Okay, so don't be don't be fake. Be yourself. Be genuine. Okay. If you are incapable in something, then simply say that and say that you will improve. If there is any chance, they will let you know. Otherwise, go and improve that. Okay. So with the ability to adjust yourself to suit different pursuits and seniority levels. Okay. You must also have the ability to pursue and to understand each other, and the role that must be given to you. You must have the ability to encounter that and respect your seniors. Okay, and you must have different perspectives of different persons in the organization. Just like, for example, as I get the offer and I join that, then I simply must have the understanding ability to understand their perspective regarding me and my perspective regarding them. That is a must have skills. This will not only improve your communications with them, but this will also make your connection more deeper with them. Also, a lot of things will be going well between both of you. Okay, okay. Request yourself to see different perspective and serious level. That simply means that you must have the ability to see. to be in your general mood and suit mo- every environment in which you are going. Okay. Third one, the important skill is ability to create work product for materials outputs, which may include PowerPoint, decks, Excel models, articles, or other written deliverables. Okay. You're looking so handsome, yes, really. I'm looking so handsome. This is top, huh? Because there is winter season outside. So I'm also want to clarify that today I'm late in making these videos because today is 4:24 a.m. I know, and usually I made these videos at 1 2 a.m. Okay, but it is simple. It is okay because I was doing my accountancy homework, accountancy questions. Okay, and I also revised two chapters of business studies, nature and significance of management and management principles. Okay, and also after this videos I will be revising my other two chapters of business studies that are business environment and planning. Okay. Okay, so the third skills you must have is ability to create work product force materials, force used materials. Okay, output which may include PowerPoint, decks, Excel's models, articles, or other written derivatives. Okay, so everybody you know about Excel, MS Excel, Word, PowerPoint, and deliverables. Okay, so these are simply tools provided by Microsoft that helps in consulting, that helps in uh, merger and acquisitions. These are the fields where they are required. It means they are required more in finance and also in consulting. Okay, so you must have the ability to understand all these charts. These are simply charts. Okay, you must have the ability to read and understand those charts, and also you must have the ability to explain those charts to someone. Okay, if you were asked. No, okay, these is because these are important skills. Okay, in consulting they plays a very important role. How if you don't know what the chart is saying or what the simply sheet is saying, then how can you get a deal with your clients? Okay, okay, articles or other written abilities. Okay, so let's move to our fourth point. What is the fourth? No, no, no. Let me just give an example of the third point. Okay, okay. Take me as a in every example. I be the person who joined the McKinsey. Okay, so I joined the McKinsey. Then there were a consulting project going on. Okay, where uh, we were dealing with our clients, and there was a chart of saying that the client was interested in, and we were consulting in that. Okay, and think of that all the information details are in my desk, and I don't know how to read that. I don't know what is written in those sheets. Then simply how I will be able to make the deals, or I'll be convince the client to deal with us. That's simply not gonna happen. And also I'll be kicked out so immediately at that moment. Okay, so you must have the ability to read all those. Simply, I don't know how to read that because these are not in my syllabus. Okay, I'm just making these videos. I'm just making these videos that are improving my communication skills. Okay, simply. Also, I want admission in NUS. Hopefully, I go to admission. I don't know. I have to share this channel to NUS or not. I will simply share if there is an option arrives where extracurricular should be submitted. Definitely share. I will share. Okay, so let's move to our fourth point. That is ability to work, attend meetings outside of traditional business hours, or take on project with limited or no notice at time. Okay, so simply for joining McKinsey, that is a multinational company. Okay, so in that you must ensure that you are giving your 100%. Okay, in a way that if you were asked to do a project in of working hours, then you must do that. Okay, you cannot simply say that I am not doing this because this is not my working hours. You have to do that. Okay, otherwise there is no job opening for you in the vacancy. Okay, okay, because they are providing you their consulting, they are providing you opportunities, and what you are doing in return, you are just simply saying that I'm not available right now because this is not my working hour. That's not fair. we, if we are working at a vacancy, we have to give our 100% at that, so that the organization will perform its best, and while the organization will perform best, we will also perform our best. We will also get the best outcomes. Okay. Okay. So you must. So in that, if you are asked to work off hours, you have to work that. You were asked to, if you were asked to attend meetings outside the traditional hours, you have to attend those meetings. Okay. Okay. If you were asked to take project, complete these, and then you simply have to do that. You cannot deny that. Okay. So these are the skill, not only skills, these are the agreement that you have to sign before joining the McKinsey. Okay. Simply a question why I am, so I'm telling you why I am explaining McKinsey to you is that a lot of time I heard about McKinsey on Instagram from a lot of creators saying that it is a multinational companies, and it gives a lot of opportunities to freshers who have high potential. So I was thinking about it. So why don't I read its blogs? So I read its blogs, and from there I came to these understandings that what I am saying in these videos. Okay. So basically, that was my curiosity that led me to think and read about Mackenzie, and now I'm speaking that in front of this camera. Okay, just to get rid of social anxiety or camera, or you can say that it is a camera anxiety. Okay, it's been 18 minutes we are making videos. Okay, so you have to attend all those meetings. Okay, so simply say that I'm working there, and today at my home, and today is my holiday. But my manager calls me to out calls me that it is a important meeting that will be going on online. You can do that work from home. You have to do that from 1 a.m. to 7 p.m. 7 a.m. Then I cannot deny that. Simply I have to join the meeting. I have to do that. Okay, unless until there's some exceptional case. Okay, so everybody have those exceptional cases in which they can deny it. Okay, that is not written here. That is I am telling you, because a lot of times in life, a lot of people get exceptional cases, just like somebody died in their family, or just like that someone is hospitalized or something else. Okay. Why say that? Let's move to the fifth point. Okay, so excellent organizational capabilities, including the ability to initiate tasks independently and see them through the competition. Okay, to competition. Okay, so you must have the. So I'm reading this again. Okay, excellent organization capabilities. Okay, including the ability to initiate tasks indifferently and see them through to competition. Okay, competition. Okay, so you must have the ability to you must have the excellent organizational ability, capabilities, okay, in which you can initiate tasks, and not only initiate, you must have the ability to complete those tasks, okay. If you study something, then completion is also very very important, okay. Okay, because if you are not completing that task that you have started, then that means your lack of confidence, or your lack of disciplined about your work or anything else, okay. Excellent organization capabilities are must have, okay. These skills are not only wanted by the McKinsey. A lot of companies want these abilities, okay, because everyone wants someone who can value them, okay, not someone who cannot value them, okay. Okay, so excellent organization capabilities, including the ability to initiate tasks independently. So the task that you will initiate will be 100% or maybe on 100% independently by you or by your team or anyone. Okay, but you must have the ability to initiate task. Okay, it doesn't matter how you are initiating, maybe in a team, maybe it's yourself, or maybe a group of 2 to 3 people only, or maybe initiated to you by your manager. Okay, okay, independent and see them thought to the completion, and completion is must have, you have to complete all those tasks. Okay. So just like there is a person A who is in McKinsey from about 6 to 7 months or a long time, okay, and he's thinking that there is a gap in McKinsey where he can, which the gap which he can fill by his potential or by his expertise. Then he must he have the rights, and he must have the skill, okay, that he can initiate that by himself only, by himself, or create a team by itself, or by contacting with its managers or colleagues, okay, and he can fill that gap, okay. Okay, not only gap in the McKinsey but in the market or anywhere, okay, where there are gap is seen, okay. So let's move to the sixth point. Proficient in rational decisions making based on data, facts, and logical reasoning. Okay, proficient. What is the meaning of proficient? I don't know what is the meaning of proficient. I'm just, if I'm saying something right here about proficient, then that meaning will be my generated or assuming that can be according to my understanding. Okay, proficient is rational decision, okay, making based on data, facts, and logical reasoning. Okay, I think that it simply means that you must have the ability to understand data, what the data is saying, okay, and facts, what are the facts. You must have the ability to make decisions on the facts, data, logical reasoning. Your IQ must be better for that. Okay, if you are not, if you don't have the high IQ, then how can you simply see the patterns and understand those patterns and deliver the results? Okay, that means reasoning ability is also important. We have already discussed in our previous video that quantitative reasoning is skill must have that the Yale University asks with his students that are applying for their program. It could okay. So there we have read about three skills that are language skills. Okay, the second one is quantitative reasoning. Okay, and the third one was I think of that is communications, our communication skills. Okay, so basically in this skills in all those skills that is- that the employee must have. We already discussed about the language skills, writing communication, and communication skills. Okay, the that we have already discussed in the Yale University. I told you yesterday about that. Hopefully, you know. Hopefully, what I know that nobody is watching that. I also not watch these videos after making that. Okay, okay. I'm not watching these videos after making them. I just simply post them in YouTube. Okay. So in yesterday videos, I discovered about 3 points: quantitative reasoning, communications, and writing. Okay. These 3 points are important in Yale universities, but not only Yale universities. As we read in the Yale University blogs, that these are the important skills also in our life. Okay, so according to Yale perspective, these are important. Okay, because we can see our own perspective that they are how much they are important because McKinsey is also asking. That means simply other not only universities, companies are also wanting these skills. Okay, because everyone wants a talented person who can level up their organizations or team. Okay, no one wants someone who can restore them. Okay, so coordination must have coordination. Okay, oh, quantitative aptitude, re- writing skills, and communication skills simply says that good coordinations, simply connecting the dots. Simply, I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just saying so that I'm not saying. Okay, so proficiency in rational decision making based on data, facts, and logical reasoning. Okay, okay. So if the person that joins McKinsey must have the ability to analyze the environment, not only analyze the environment, the data, and he must have the ability to understand the basic concepts by itself. Okay, he must not have to be that type of person who is asking everything so deeply that the explainer get frustrated on that. Okay, and that will simply decrease the coordination between them. Okay, let me just get my folders right. Oh, I'm sitting in my blanket because it's very cold outside. Okay. Okay, so let's move to 7 point. Okay, exceptional time management to meet your responsibilities in a complex and largely autonomous work environment. Okay, so time management is a skill everyone must have. Okay, if a person is not able to manage his own times, how will he able to manage his teams, his organizations? Simply. So McKinsey is asking for candidates, for employees, that they must have effective time management skills. Okay, time management skills help in a way that if a person is able to manage his time, that means his routine is okay. Then the person knows that shows the person is very disciplined. Okay, time management to meet your responsibilities. Mm, The person is very disciplined that he completing his responsibilities that are given to him. Okay, in a complex and largely autonomous work environment. Okay, so time management is very important because it helps in a very autonomous, largely autonomous work environment, complex work environment. Okay, you can simply manage your time by selecting time and giving. They will help you in the optimum time management. Simply. Okay, so a person who is able to manage all the activities that are given to him under time in a particular given time, then that person will be good for the McKinsey. Okay. So then we have our eighth point, that is ability to travel work in varying environment that may be changing or not accessible. Okay, let me just read this again. Ability to travel to work. Okay, in wearing in wearing in what have you said there? Oh, I made the spelling mistake. Oh, okay. Ability to travel to work in a varying environments that may be challenging or not accessible. Okay. So a candidate who is applying for a McKinsey, he must have the ability and he must ensure that if he will ask to travel for the purpose of business, for the purpose of consultancy, or for any organization related issues, then he must travel there. Okay, no matter if he can enjoy the moments, environment or not, no matter if the other environment are accessible to him or not. For example, let me give you a simple example. Person A is going to A is working in India's McKinsey company, okay, or McKinsey company of Indian branch, okay, and he will be asked to go to United Arab for some consulting or for some business analytics or for any purpose, okay, and he refused to go. Then that person, if he will be going to refuse for that, then that person will not get an employment in that, okay, and if he's going there, okay. Now another scenario, okay, if he's going there and while going there, he don't get time to enjoy the United Arab nation, then he must be okay with that. He must be okay with that, okay, because he is going for the purpose of business, for the purpose of organization purpose, okay. Organ Everybody knows the organization purpose. What are the purpose of organization? Survival, profit, growth. Okay, these are the three organization purposes, and everybody knows there is a point that subordination of personal interest to organization interest. That means the purpose of organization comes superior than the purpose of personal interest. Okay, that simply means that if you are given that your personal interest comes after the organization purpose. Okay, so the priority given by you will be to the organization, and no matter if you are getting right things or wrong things, that means when the person is gone there and it doesn't get the that simply means that the person who is going to United Arab Nation for business purpose, and he is a very happy that he will be watching Burj Khalifa. Okay, but according to time management, he did not get the time. He is stuck in the meeting, and the meeting ends, and immediately he travel back to the other uh, country. Okay, then he must travel there, not go to Burj Khalifa. Okay, so that he must surrender his own desire for the growth or for the purpose of organization. Okay, that is the point that is here. So here we have discussed all four 8 points that 8 skills that the person must have. Okay, school. While I was viewing the websites, I also discovered about some of the massive skills that we will develop after getting in the McKinsey. Okay, so what are these? I have written all of the skills. Don't worry about that because I read everything. That's what I learned out. Oh, shit. There's a massive problem. I wrote only one skill, so that I don't know how that possible. I don't know how I forgot that, but I apologize for that. Next time I will be reading that definitely. But there is a one point I will be explaining this to you. Okay, so the point is difference between scientific. No, this is not I heard it.